I finally have something to long arm, so let's install these. These are the Rene red snappers that I got for my long arm machine. These are the instructions, and so there's a little video if you scan that QR code. So I watched the videos on how to install these onto your quilt and load up your backing. I didn't really see one on how to sew the casings on your cloth leaders, so I think I'm gonna have to figure that out on my own. So let's go figure that out. So these are just Velcroed on, so I'm just gonna pull these off. And then we'll do the one in the back. All right, so I basically just kind of folded this over and tried to take a basic measurement there. This is about 2 inches here. So I'm using my Friction Heat Disappearing ink pen and a ruler here. I'm just kind of going along here and marking 2 inches. There's gonna be a lot of ripping out if this doesn't work out. And did I mention I'm doing this on 4 hours of sleep? This is not the day to be mathing, but I'm the queen of figuring it out as I go along. So we're just gonna see how this works out. All right, so here's what I've done. I'm folding this over to where it meets that. I was gonna iron, but it's an extra step. So I'm folding it over. I've moved my needle to where it's just hitting on the other side of this. And then I sewed a little bit and I made sure that this was still gonna have plenty of room to fit in there. So I think I'm good. I'm gonna go ahead and sew. Okay, so we look like that on the front, look like that on the back. Perfectly fits in there. So now we gotta do the next one. All right, we're gonna put them back on now. All right, now you gotta put all of your little tubes together using these little dowels. And the video says that sometimes they can be kind of difficult to get in there, and so you can use some soap, but so far I'm getting them in there okay. And listen, I have been pre-warned by the maker of these and by all of you that they are kind of difficult to use the first 4, 5, 8 times. Because, you know, like the plastic is kind of stiff, and so to like snap it all together until the plastic gets a little more soft. And so to snap it at first, everyone says like the plastic is really stiff, and then after you use it for a while, it does get better. So if you've only tried it a couple of times, people are recommending keep trying it, and it does get better. We're just threading it in. Could not have been more easy. I am hanging out a little bit on each side. I don't know if that's okay. Tell me if that's okay or not. But yeah, we're all installed. So now I just need to practice putting my fabric on. I'm not gonna show you what that is. That is for December release. But I will show you my backing fabric. This is Kaffe wide back that we just got in for the website. And it perfectly goes with that project. So I'm gonna use some of this. Okay, in all truth, you do need to have some grip strength. So if you struggle with like carpal tunnel or you have weak hand strength, you might need a little bit of help. But other than that, it was really easy and not that difficult to put together. I have some extras. I think I'm gonna save this in case I ever get a longer frame, just in case. I'm just gonna stash it. Now the video that I saw said to roll your cloth leader up for the backing so that the little tube piece is here on top, and then that way you can lay your backing fabric over the top here and then snap your piece down like this. So I'm going to try that. And then you use these little temporary holders. So I snapped that one in the middle, and then I kind of used my fingers to kind of smooth my fabric, and then I use this temporary holder. And I can see how it would be a little difficult for some people to push down on it, but I'm glad I watched that video because she was explaining how you have to use like the heel of your hand to kind of push down on it, and then it went on without any kind of trouble. But if I was trying to use my hand or my fingers, it did not work. But I used the heel of my hand and it went fine. Okay, so we have it all loaded front and back. Tension looks okay. I'm gonna roll it back and forth a couple times. That usually works out any tension issues that I'm having. So let's do some pros and cons because I promised you a review. Now I normally use pins, so I'll be comparing this to pins. So cons, obviously the price, because it's more expensive than pins, but it is an investment. So if you end up liking it, it's an investment that you are gonna wanna make. Comparing it time-wise to pins, I feel like it's pretty equal to me. It's also my first time using it, so it might have taken a lot longer this time. Maybe as I use it more, I will get faster with it. I'm not sure. But as far as this time, I felt like it was pretty equal with pins. So if you use red snappers, maybe you can comment below, let me know like how quick is it? Do you feel like it's way faster than when you used to use pins? I guess you could say a con is the setup time to actually like sew the little tubes to put in there, but I feel like that's not like a huge con to me. It's not a big deal. It was super easy to put together and you just have to do it the one time. Pro for me, safety wise, big safety thing for me. I have pets. If you have pets or little kids, pins are a safety issue. I can't tell you how many times I have dropped my pins and I don't see them, they're on carpet, or I've dropped my entire box of pins, or I've knocked it off the table. Or as you're working, I'm constantly snagging my stomach here on a pin. And it was super nice as I'm rolling my fabric and just making sure everything's nice and smooth to be able to run my hand and I'm not worried about snagging my hand or getting stuck. So that right there was almost worth the price of it, just that alone. Now, pro or con, I think it could go either way if you have any kind of mobility issues with your hand, if you have any grip strength issue or any kind of fine motor skill issue with your hands. So for instance, if you have issues with like a pincher grip, the pins might be more difficult for you. But if you have any strength issues, then maybe the snappers might be more difficult for you. But like I said, honestly, like I was trying to use my hand or my fingers and you can't use the snappers with that. You really have to just push down with the heel of your hand, and then it was really easy for me. So if you struggled with it in the past, I just kind of pushed down on it with the heel of my hand on the table. And then for the bottom part of it, I just lined it up right here and I just pushed down with the heel of my hand and I just worked my way along and it worked fine. For the top part of the backing fabric, I had this part down on the table and I just pushed down with the heel of my hand like that and it worked perfectly fine. So overall, I think I kind of liked it. I think it went pretty fast for my first time. I think I'll keep trying it. It's just sewn in there. If I don't like it, I can pull it out. I can always go back to using my pins. It's a temporary thing to try. If you don't like it, put it back in the bag, give it to a friend. You can sell it on Facebook Marketplace or whatever. It's a temporary thing. So I think it's worth the investment in trying.